malaika, nakupende malaika, malaika, nakupende malaika. La
We can sing, but I don't think we have it on. We don't have it, but we can sing our national anthem. Yes, we can. Why not?
I know you.
Yeah. Lydia, do you want to come and lead us on our national anthem, please? Yeah, next way, yeah.
Okay, attention please. Respect for national anthem.
I'm going to call upon the company that actually has funded our dinner tonight, the Equity Direct. I'm going to call upon the CEO, Nick, who is here with us. He flew all the way from Kansi just to be with us this evening. He's going to talk to us how to do it, when to do it.
Money transfer, sir.
I want to make it simple because I know there's so many challenges sometimes. So it's going to show us exactly what to do, when to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for me.
Wow, how do I follow that? I think I need to become Kenyan. That would help. I don't really want to spend a long time talking about who we are, what we do. What I want to try and do is just give you a few of the features, and hopefully that might sort of inspire you to maybe have a closer look. Sam's obviously representing us in the community. And I looked at this and I thought, well, you know, who are we, what do we do? We've got on here, you know, fast, low cost, best service, secure. But why are we different? Lots of firms say that, you know, how are we different to everybody else? Well, my colleague Stephen and I, we went off to Nairobi a few years ago, and we looked at M-Pesa, we looked at what was happening, and we recognized that as M-Pesa becomes more successful, people will move money from the wallet to a bank for basically storing value or monetary value in a bank account. And for us, the bank of choice was Equity Bank. So we sat down with Equity Bank and we said, we have a vision that we want to connect the diaspora, we call it a diaspora gateway, but for people in the UK, people in Europe, Australia, Canada, we want to connect the diaspora to Equity Bank, and we want to do it seamlessly. So we want to create a process which is almost like sending an instant message. It becomes really second nature, seamless. Now, we've had a great conversation about technology around our table. Jackie's saying, you know, she wants to basically talk with people and not press buttons and things. Younger generation, like my son James, who's come with us, you know, that's what they do. In fact, James got 2 phones with him tonight because he's got to have Snapchat on one of them. But, you know, so the world's evolving differently, but we recognize that as people get more comfortable with technology, that they can use it, and we've tried to make our product pretty simple. So what do? Well, actually, it's great. On the flyers here, we've got, it says just for £1. We've created a product whereby you can send money to Equity Bank and other banks in Kenya too, but primarily Equity Bank and M-Pesa. You can send an instant, real-time money transfer to Kenya from your phone. So I've got the app on my phone in my pocket. and you link your debit card to it, and you can send money to you. Like if you're sitting here, I'll go, oh, I need to send my mum, 10,000 shillings. You could do this sitting at the table with her instantly. It's amazing. We built this product about 3 years ago with Equity Bank, and we're rolling it out across other countries too, to Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, and into mobile wallets as well. And there are other firms doing it as well, other competitors, Japanese Ria, there's World Remit, there's Azimo, there's other people too. What makes us different is we're connected with Equity Bank. And Equity Bank to us is a powerhouse of East Africa. But also, I was chatting with Perez about our customer service. We have a customer service where some people like to pick up the phone and speak, don't they, Jack? Yeah? So some people like to know there's someone at the end of the phone. Sometimes there's a problem. Sometimes, especially with the African way, the banks don't necessarily process, M-Pesa might be down. So we have customer service to keep all of our customers in touch with what's going on. Because if you send a money transfer to M-Pesa to your mum, and she hasn't got it, you want to know where it is. So we have instant messaging on our app, so we'd say if there's a problem, we'll tell you what's going on. We'll also tell you when the problem's fixed. It doesn't happen very often, but it's little things like that that make all the difference. So, I mean, Perez is a great advocate of our service, and Perez was using, can I say which bank it was or not?
Yeah.
Right, so Perez. Sorry, oh, well, maybe Perez could say that. That might be better to do that. But, so, yes, we have the remittance product. We're also developing that into other things. So, we developed a product called Paybill Plus. And, I was chatting with Dorothy when she came in about education. So, we've connected into HELB, which is a higher education loans board in Kenya. So for all the students who are traveling away from home, maybe in the UK in education, they need to maybe pay their loan. And loans are difficult for students nowadays. But we've made it very simple. All they do is register they register themselves with Equity Direct. They go and select HELB. It's a bit like Paybill in Kenya, but this is international Paybill, and it's quick, instant. But the great thing about Paybill Plus is when you pay to your loan account, HELB will know immediately that you've paid. They get an advice that the money's been paid. There's no reconciliation problems. It just creates everything, it makes life a lot easier for everybody. We're also doing higher value payments for people who want to invest in, say, stock markets or houses, make mortgage payments. And we're also working with people who want to make payments out of Africa into the UK, into Europe and places too. So it's not just a remittance product. We've got a bigger treasury operation as well that can support other operations. I'm conscious of time. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of a flavour. Where's Sam? Is he? Oh, there you are. Sam, sorry, I didn't prepare this speech, so I've just done it on the fly. Have we pretty much covered what you want to cover and you think I should cover?
Yeah, I think so. I think the most important thing is to explain to these guys the best way. For instance, if you've got an account in the UK and you want to save your little money back home, whether in Kenyan shillings or in the UK sterling pounds, I think you do, don't you?
Yeah, if you're in the UK and you want, Equity Direct allows you, it's not only buying Kenyan shillings, if you want to send pounds or dollars and to Equity Bank and store them in the bank there, you can do that too. You can use our service to do that. And if you speak to Sam nicely, he'll set you up with an account, if you haven't got one already, where you can have a trial for free. It is only £1 to send money anyway. That just covers a small processing fee. But there's other things as well where sometimes people may have a problem with, say, a larger transaction. We can help you. That's the whole point about our business. It's not just a one product and that's all you can do in terms of send a few £100 or a few thousand. We help people with bigger financial payments that they need to make abroad, and we can do forward hedging, we can do more complex things, but maybe that's for another conversation.
So, how much can you say?
How much have you got?
Pounds?
Yeah, you can. With Equity Direct, it's up. We have a limit of £5,000 in a transfer. But if you want to send £1 million to Kenya, we can organise that. That's not a problem. But you don't do it through the automated app because there's a little bit more compliance, but it's still very seamless. It's very quick, and exchange rates are super competitive. Better than the bank, that's for sure. Ferris, do you want to say a couple of words just quickly?
So just before you get into that, you need to explain that you can also transfer to other banks as well, not just equity alone.
Yeah, of course. I mean, so the Equity Direct service, we're trying to encourage people who bank with Equity Bank to use the service and also maybe open diaspora accounts at Equity Bank because our partnership with them, I think you can probably tell with the name Equity Direct, it's linked with Equity Bank. But Stephen and I were in Dr. James Wangi's office a few years back, and Stephen was using the terminology about democratizing remittances. Just give people choice. The people will choose what they want to do. We can maybe influence it by saying, look, if you want to send to Equity Bank, it's only £1, and actually that might be very attractive to some people. But if they want to send to KCB or Chase or whichever Barclays or whichever bank it might be, you can set that up too. It will go through the clearing system, so it may not be instant, but it will be instantly submitted to the clearing system, and it might take 10 or 15 minutes. So it's still super quick. And also as well with Equity Bank, if you send it to Equity Bank, it's 24/7. So it will credit an Equity Bank account on Saturdays, Sundays, any point in time, which is a great feature.
And how much does it cost to send to another bank?
The maximum fee is £4, but it's essentially the model is £1 per 100, maximum £4. So if you send £1,000, it'll cost you £4. If you send £100, it costs you £1.
Yeah, because right now, if you use Barclays to Equity Bank, the minimum they can charge you is £18, and of course it takes a couple of days before it clears on the side.
Absolutely.
And again, it depends.
It's dreadful exchange rate.
And of course, exchange rate. I think the beauty of Equity, Direct is that you can negotiate very well the day exchange rates, which is very important. I know many people now have got apps and they look at what's the best rates. And to us, I think the beauty is that for you to transfer money, you sort of basis the number of money transfers before you say, wow, it's actually giving me value for money. And to us, that is important. Secondly, to transfer money to another account is very vital, especially if you're paying school fees for maybe a young person, you're sponsoring somebody in Kenya, or you're paying some maybe a hospital bill, or you're doing some investment back home. And I think that is very critical at the moment.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you just remind me, Sam, we met up a little while ago, and Sam was showing me the apps he has on his phone, checking other competitors' exchange rates.
Yeah.
And I said, Sam, okay, so now you have your Equity Direct account, you've got to check it. As soon as you see anybody with a better rate, we'll investigate, and you call me straight away. He hasn't called me yet, so that must be good.
No, so far it's doing well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the beauty is that I know many of us now investing back home in either property or land or whatever you are buying. It's really important to look at the Equity Direct because imagine spending £4, again you negotiate the best price, for you to transfer that money. Because for instance, we pay deposits of about maybe 2 million shillings, about maybe, about 15,000 pounds. You transfer that at £4, and it takes barely maximum 1 hour, I would say so.
During normal banking hours, it takes maximum 1 hour to another bank. If it's, of course, to Equity Bank, it's instant.
Yeah. Any other questions, please?
Lord, thank you for sponsoring the dinner tonight. Now, while you are talking, I downloaded the app, and then it says register, and it says account application. Is that account with the Equity Bank, or is it account application with the Equity Direct?
If you, we act as a gateway, like a diaspora gateway. So we provide the regulatory coverage for this service. We do that in the UK and Europe. So the registration is with the UK entity, and we have to do some basic AML checks. To be honest, most people will probably pass electronically straight away. So we have to do a few little checks, which you have to do with anybody else anyway if they do their job properly.
Okay.
Once you've done that, and we have a customer service if you have any problems that will help you. But it literally can take 2 minutes to open an account. If there's any issues, it might take a little bit longer if we need a copy of a passport or something, but typically it's very, very quick, and that's with the UK entity. And then you don't have to do any compliance with Equity Bank because we connect directly into them. If you want to open an account with Equity Bank, we can assist you with that too. So we have connections with the diaspora banking team in Nairobi, so we can help you with that too.
Thank you. Because I already have an account with Equity Bank. My second
Well,
question.
you're set up then, so we can just map it straight to your account.
My second question is, a lot of money transfers talk of transferring money for free or for £1, but then they hit you with exchange rate. For example, Barclays Bank have got Bingit,
Yeah.
which allows you to transfer money without a charge to a Barclays Bank account in Kenya. But quite often when I look at their rates, and then I look at the rates for other transfer, then I find that the bottom line where you get the money that actually enters into the account in Kenya plus transfer cost it could be free, but then they need to an exchange rate, and that's something that you may need to watch.
No, we don't, I can promise you we don't hit you with the exchange rate. The exchange rate on my app will be the same as anybody else's exchange rate if they log on. And it goes back to the principles. When Steve and I set this out, we have this terminology about we want the maximum amount of money to hit the back of the net. And what that means is if you're sending £100 back home, it's important that the maximum amount of money reaches that person in the country, because it's so much more beneficial for somebody receiving an extra £10, £15, say in Kenya, than perhaps it might be for the person here in the UK sending it. So our passion is to make sure that that person ends up with as much money as possible. Stephen wants to grab the mic for me.
Sir, can you hear me? Sorry. Hello, everybody. Jumbo. Karibuni. What I would suggest you do, sir, is to compare apples with apples. Send £5 with Barclays, and I don't think you would dare because of the costs involved, or send £5 with Equity Direct. I'll tell you now, it'll cost you £1 transaction fee and about 1.8% spread, not the 8, 9, 10% you may get with other providers.
Sam just reminded me, we talked about education earlier, and one of the things we're working on is, well, we can do it now, but for people in Kenya who have children, say here in the UK, they need to send money from Kenya to pay for school fees. There's also the issue that maybe the student coming over here may need to open a bank account. We're introducing what's called agency banking in our main company, which means we can offer dedicated sort codes and account numbers for essentially a bank account for people. We have prepaid cards that we can link to that bank account. So we can set people up, so students coming from Kenya and other countries too, we can set them up in an account here where the family is sending money from the country, such as Kenya, they can send money into Equity Bank and then we can load it coming back this way. It's a product we have available now, which is being tested, and we're rolling that out. So it allows basically that seamless interaction between, if you like, sending money from Kenya to here and the other way too. Do you want me to expand on other things, or we?
No, I think, yeah. I mean, I think it's important to start because it's a new product, and I think it's important.
I think we need some food.
I know. I know.
So I tell you what, why don't we do this, if it's all right with everybody here? Why don't we concentrate on having some food? And if anybody's got some questions, I'll stand up again, and you can just fire questions. Not too difficult ones, please, but please ask any questions later.
There's a burning question here.
There's a burning question.
Oh, burning question. Yeah, I might.
Just a general question.
Sure.
We are actually thinking about why do we have to think that sending money becomes like a complicated thing?
Sorry?
Like a complicated thing in wow, because it's just like transmission. So you have an issue whereby every single person tells me that sending money has to be transmitted to a different spec, or it's like you're sending money to some kind of spectrum. It's transmission. So what makes you different from being a person that sent money? But why do you think that actually sending money? What I'm trying to say is that the issue of sending money is becoming like a complex issue.
Okay, let me get this one.
You do that one.
So we
I might add
have
to it.
we have this thing I don't want it. It's yours. Take it. We have this thing called anti-money laundering. Most of that has come out of the US over the years. We have been obliged to comply with those kind of regulations. But the fact is that sending money is not difficult, as long as you're prepared to answer a few questions. Okay? With Equity Direct, it's very simple. Who are you? Where do you live? Okay? If we should be able to find that without any further recourse. If we can't, because you just landed, then we'll ask you to prove who you are, where you live. After that, you can send money at your leisure. There's no going down to Barclays, turning up with ID, documentation, etc., etc., etc. It's pretty straightforward. If there are issues, our customer service will make it their business to hold your hand, to walk you through the process. Why not give it a go for £5, and let us. We do what we say on the tin. Prove it.
I'd like to add something more just to that as well.
Hang on a minute.
Can I just add a comment to that, which I think is quite important? I think it really is quite important. The essence of Equity Direct, and it's in the name, Equity. We've connected our banking system to Equity's banking system, which means we speak and communicate in real time. Many other banks use what's called a correspondent banking system. So for instance, Barclays, even though it's Barclays, London Barclays, Kenyan, they move money, but it's very slow, that process. If you have, say, I'm not going to use competitive names, but there are some, I think you might have mentioned RIA or something like that, but there are other competitive firms, and what they do is they'll take that money transfer, their systems then will hand it off to another system that then does a local network somehow, or correspondent banking. Ours is completely different. Equity Direct is where our business here in the UK, which is a regulated business, our banking systems are joined at the hip with equity banking systems. We built the APIs to connect to each other. Nobody else has got that. That makes us fundamentally different. Sing to us.
No, I don't have a question. I just want to say that I use Equity Bank, I use Equity Direct, and I found it so clean.
Oh, perfect.
It's so easy.
You've got a convert there.
I'm already there.
Sam, we're allowed to have dinner now?
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
I don't want to be the one standing between you and your dinner, so I'll try to make it quick. No, I won't make it between your dinner. I just want to do something small. I was hoping today that I'll have an opportunity to brag about an achievement that I have that no one knows. In 2015, I had a chance to run the mini marathon in Milan. And I want to be able to say that I was the only person to have beaten Paul Taggart, so I am a good runner. Maybe that's a record that you don't know, but that's for the side. Anyway, mine here tonight is just to say, to add on to what my colleagues and friends and business partners have talked about tonight. But I just want to give you a practical example of why I find Equity Direct platform really useful. Tonight you're going to be served something very interesting. It's called sweet potato creme brulee. And it's going to be your dessert tonight. I hope those of you who haven't tried it will get a chance to try it. But why am I giving you this example today is that if you look at this product in this bottle, there's almost 8 different currencies that has gone into producing this product to bring it to the market. So I assume you're the market tonight. And I just want to see how money moves and why we find this platform very useful for us as a business. In this product here, there's fresh sweet potatoes, there's ground sweet potato flour, There's milk, there's sugar probably, there's dates, there's cream, there's technology, and there's a lot of things that go into it. It's a good example for us to use to demonstrate why I personally find Equity Direct a very useful platform for us to transfer money. Because moving money in real time is crucial for our success. It's also crucial for the hosting of this product so that we get it at the right price to the market at the right time. Other than getting this product to you tonight, every night there are a group of farmers somewhere in the land of Kenya, Kericho, Bomet, Homa Bay, who are farming and they're getting their product ready for us to receive it in the UK. And this is where my frustration was before I met Nick and Steve. That I had, between me and my husband, we had to go to Barclays on a Monday morning to try to get money to Kenya for a shipment that would be taking place on Friday. And every transaction would cost something equivalent to almost 40 pounds. But there was no guarantee that they were going to receive the money in 3 or 4 days that they said they were. There was no guarantee that farmers are going to release their crops without being paid. So my frustration, you can imagine, at least if you look at my hair, you can see some strands of white hair. This is actually as a result of what used to happen then, not what's happening now. So but what we find very useful is now, whilst the farmers on the farm, I don't stress myself with the network manager and the accountant to say, did you receive the money? I just said, get to the farms, weigh the product, take it to the pack house, tell me how much it is. And you will receive the money before the farmers leave the pack house. And they actually found it initially they never used to believe me. They thought this woman must be very crazy. So with the Equity platform, I'm able to pay people in real time. So I pay the farmers on the basis of what they've delivered. In the meantime, I'll have a vehicle traveling from Nairobi to come and pack products from the pack house. And I'll tell them, just tell me how much the vehicle is going to cost after fueling and everything else. And I pay directly to the company that is providing the vehicle. But then what's interesting, my transactions are not just in Kenya shillings. Because when we get to the airport, we actually ship in dollars. And my shippers expect me to transfer the money before they fly the products to this country. And again, the same platform enables me to transfer money from the comfort of my home in the UK to transfer it in dollars into the shipper's account. So I'm able to manage the costing and the movement of my products as well as the movement of my money. This is very essential to be able to manage, to be hands-on the movement of your money. But anyway, the products coming to the UK, it's now being handled in UK currencies, pounds. But then we're now shipping it to other countries like France and Germany and Italy. And again, we are going back to the same platform that we are able to move our products. So really, I am not here to convince you, but I'm here to be a living example to you who have questions as to how efficient, how effective this platform is. But other than that, tonight I want you to be enjoying your sweet potato cream brulee. Now that you know the history, how we move it around, and how much it costs, but we are able to manage the cost. And remember that what we have done here, you can do as a person. Those of you who are planning to do your businesses in Kenya, in Africa, all over the world, much of our progress is curtailed by the fact that we're not able to manage our finances. And if you're able to manage your money, you can run your business anywhere in the world. Tonight we are standing here, I'm talking about cream brulee. This product has been chosen as a flag bearer for Europe to represent British products all over UK and abroad. And really, why is it possible that we are able to go out there and demonstrate to people that actually it's possible to run your business from Europe and you have all other these linkages and connections in other parts of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not want to stand in between your food, so I am going to sit. All the other questions you have, please ask me, ask Steve, and ask Sam. I am only here as a living example that it is possible to move your money and manage it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I registered with them probably a year or two ago, and I've been using it with no any problems. So I find it very reliable. I've got no complaints. I think it's quite you have sent and